everybody. Okay, I have been asked many times for an updated read on Quinton Simon. So we are going to do a short read just to see. I did have a few things new come up in my card pulls, so I feel like now would be a good time to do an updated read, just to see where things are at, surrounding maybe the family, surrounding law enforcement, and surrounding Quinton himself. I will also go in at the end and use my bumper deck. This is not an Ancestor deck. This is a bumper deck, to see just what more information maybe we can get from that. I also have another little deck here that I may pull some cards from also. I'll just give that a quick little shuffle just in case we do use it. I may pull some cards from there also at the end, just to see if maybe we can get some more clarified information. And it's all going to depend on what does come out in the read. So I'm going to ask, if you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you're made aware when I do updated reads like this and when I do new reads. Also, when I go live. Tomorrow is Sunday, October 30th, and I will be having the live mini reads, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And those are the live mini reads for you, where you can get your very own mini read. So I'll be looking forward to seeing many of you there. Again, that's tomorrow morning, Sunday, October 30th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And we usually run for about an hour and a half. So if you would like your own mini read, come see us tomorrow morning. Okay, so ask that you please share this video out also where you can, and give us a like. There's also a little super chat or super thing here down here, a little heart to show your appreciation. If you do feel like you would like to donate to the channel, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's get the cards shuffled up. Get my glasses on here so we can see. Chair pulled in. Okay, so we're going to ask right off the hop to give us some information, maybe now that, you know, I've done the very first read, I've done a second read, any information that you can give us as to what it was like around the Simon home, with Leilani and her mom and whoever else was living in the house. I know there was a boyfriend of Leilani's, Danny, and the kids, because we have heard a lot about there was an eviction order coming, or was filed. The grandmother wanted child support because the grandmother had custody of the children. So let's just see what the overall atmosphere was on a daily basis there, leading up to Quinton's disappearance or demise. I didn't fall, so I'm not going to take them. So I'm going to ask my ancestors, guardian angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, please come to assist us with the questions that we ask. Please help guide us and get some information regarding missing Quinton Simon, 20 months old, missing from Savannah, Georgia. Okay, so let's get a history of leading up to Quinton going missing. What was the atmosphere like? What was going on in the household? We've got a Fool. We've got Child Divine. And we've got the Martyr. Okay, so we asked about how the atmosphere was around the house leading up to this happening to Quinton. We've got the Fool, we've got the Child Divine, and we've got a Martyr. The Child Divine tells me about the inability to defend yourself. So, when you're young, you basically, whatever happens around you, you really have no control over it. It's the adults in the situation controlling it. You really don't have any defenses. You don't have a driver's license where you can jump in your car and go. You don't have, the ability to just run away. You're young. So it's bringing in the Child Divine, and it does talk about, even on the card, about the inability to defend oneself against negative forces. So I do feel that there was a lot of negative forces in that house, a lot of negativity, a lot of chaos in that house. We've also got the Fool here. Okay, you see the Fool. The Fool is basically talks about denials in general, but in this case, paired with the child, it's almost like the denial of emotional truth. So I don't think, even though, we've seen grandma and, how upset she shows that she is with this baby being missing, we don't really get a lot of that from Quinton's mother. You see, I was sent a link to a video from yesterday where they did come out and, I guess, confront the protesters that are there, sat on the front lawn, and you've seen a lot of emotion from the grandmother there. Whether you guys believe that she is being authentic or not, that's not up for me to decide. But I seen a lot of emotion from the grandmother and very little other than anger from Quinton's mother. So it's almost like there's a denial here with the Fool of emotional truths. So I do feel like there was a lot of lying going on there with somebody. And I'm getting also that somebody uses humor to cover things up. So we find with a lot of people, and I've come across quite a few in my lifetime so far, when they're faced with certain scenarios, they laugh at inappropriate times, and they try to use humor to hide their true emotional feelings. And I feel that there was a lot of that going on in and around the household, a lot of laughing things off. And I'm not saying that they're laughing at baby Quinton being gone, but what I'm saying is a lot of sweeping stuff under the rug, a lot of just, when things aren't going properly, somebody laughing it off and then just going on their merry way. Really not, no accountability, stuff like that. But there's a lot of denial of emotions here, a lot of denials of showing emotion, feeling emotion, stuff like that. But with the Child Divine coming out, to me, that's showing that there was somebody childlike, that had an inability to defend themselves against the negativity that was surrounding them. Okay. And I've also got the Martyr. And we all know there's somebody there that's a real martyr. It's almost like, when somebody quits smoking, all of a sudden they're like on a different level than you now. It's like, oh my God, how dirty, ooh, it stinks. But meanwhile, they had smoked for 40 years. That's, I feel a lot of that in this household. It doesn't matter what I did in the past. And if you're doing that now, you shouldn't be doing that. It's almost like overcompensating for their own mistakes. And when others around them are making the same mistakes, they really go hard on them. And a lot of self-pity goes with this too, with the martyr. So it's almost just because they've maybe quit doing something or stopped doing something doesn't make them any, better in what they were doing than the person that may be doing it now. You know what I mean? It's almost like when they did it, that doesn't matter anymore. It's because you're doing it now. It's almost like I get a really odd feeling with this, and it's a lot of self-pity. Look at me, I overcame that, and you should do the same. And it's like, well, you did this when you were young. It doesn't matter. I overcame that. It's a lot of, I don't know. There's so much here. A lot of self-pity. I find that there was a lot of abuse with the people. The people in that house are also victims of maybe childhood abuse. I feel like there's a lot of self-pity in that house with everybody, not just Leilani or her mom. I feel like it's a house full of people with very troubled pasts, very hurtful, probably abused as children themselves, not given the proper guidance as they were growing up. And I'm not saying that this is an excuse. I'm saying I asked for what was this family life like before this happened. I feel that this was so dysfunctional that I'm surprised that this didn't happen sooner. Okay? Even with one of the kids, the older kids that live there, and I'm not talking about Leilani's kids. To me, Leilani herself, 22 years old, she's still almost like a kid. I know she's a grown adult, so don't come at me for that. But I feel like the mentality-wise, and I do feel that there was a lot of, even with the grandmother and other adults in the house, that there was a lot of trauma and maybe abuse from the past that they haven't dealt with either. And I think that's why this was projected towards the younger children. So let's see what else we can get. Regarding their thoughts and feelings around Quinton being missing, their thoughts and their feelings. It's almost like the cards do not want to answer that. So let's go with the thoughts and feelings surrounding the adults that are in that house right now. How do they feel now since Quinton? We've got what was going on before this happened with Quinton. Let's see what's going on with the adults in that house now. What we don't see, okay? So what's not shown to the outside world, what's going on in private since Quinton's gone missing. Let's see what we can get there. Shapeshifters. Prostitute. Child orphan. Okay, so we've got the shapeshifter. We've got the prostitute. And we've got, look at that, the child orphan. Okay, so we got what was going on before this happened, and here's what's going on in this house now. So with the child orphan, feelings of abandonment, things that stifle maturing. Remember when I said that even though Leilani is 22, there's still like a childlike feeling with her. And I'm getting again here the stifling of maturity. So it's almost like she never should have had kids. She may have started having, I know she has 3, she's 22. So yeah, she did start very young. never really had a chance to grow up. So I feel she's still stuck in that mentality of 15, 16, 17. When you're really at the top of your game and being carefree. We all know when we get to be around that age, 15, 16, 17, usually by 18, you start trying to reel yourself back in. We've seen even with the Kylie Rodney case, making poor choices, stuff like that. She never should have went to that party. But that's what I am getting with the child orphan. This is also with what's going on there now. When we got the child orphan, somebody is looking and seeking out inappropriate surrogate friends or family. And what I mean by that is somebody here is acting childlike, like I'm just going to change my whole family and I'm going to latch on to certain people that have the same mentality or mindset as them, but with means to help them. So I feel like that is going on right now. Maybe latching on to wrong people, trusting in the wrong people, allowing wrong people into your circle. This is not going to help. This is not going to help the situation. I feel like it's going to make it worse. So whoever these people are that they are trying to, we see a lot of cars coming and going. Let me just take a drink of my coffee here. We see, like I said, I seen the video from yesterday, bits and pieces of it. I can't sit and watch a 5-hour video, you guys, but I was given certain snippets to go and watch. A lot of people coming and going from this house now. Okay. So we're asking about right now. A lot of people coming and going, and I feel like they're trying to latch on to the wrong people. So whoever they are inviting in or speaking with, or feeling like these are the people that are going to help them, they're actually going to make it worse. The people that they are allowing in and speaking to about this are actually not there for them. They're there for the story to know, so they are in the know. We seen with the grandmother making the phone call to Bubba, and then Bubba putting it out into the world for everybody to hear. That's what they're attaching themselves to, is things like that. They're not thinking clearly, obviously, but I feel like there's certain people there that are feeling abandoned. So they're just latching out and latching on to anyone that gives them the attention that they're seeking right now, like the poor me, or please help us. Or so whoever is jumping on that bandwagon, they should be very, very careful with, because these people that are coming and going and stuff aren't there for the right reasons. These people that they're allowing into their home or into their personal life is going to come back and bite them. And it really does add more questions than answers. Okay. There's some things that I do know personally that I know exactly what this card is telling me. So we've then got the prostitute. Okay. The prostitute card. You see all the money in my reads. I did say that there was something about, some arguing, fighting going on. Maybe this was over money. But the prostitute card coming out, and I know what everybody has said about their history and everything else. I'm more concerned about what's going on in that house now. The prostitute card tells me that they're placing materialistic things and considerations above empowering themselves and their own security. So I think right now they're in protection mode. I think they're losing a lot of money, or they have a lot of money to lose. this usually comes with a loss of money. Okay. But I do feel like there's some material things that they're afraid of losing, and they're really trying to connect it to with this card here, trying to empower themselves, but with the wrong people. Okay. These people aren't there to come in and sit and have tea with them. They're going in that house and they're chit chatting and everything and partying in the backyard with them because they want information. I believe this information is going to be sold. So the highest bidder, it's going to be one of those trash magazines or something. They're gonna sell the story. It's all for money. It's the only reason they're even around them. We've got the shapeshifter. Okay, so with the shapeshifter, to me, this is projecting an image that serves your personal agendas and in the moment. So with this, it tells me there's a lot of changing stories, a lot of passing of blame, throwing blame at others when blame should be on you. It's almost like somebody there is trying to project an image of themselves that is not true. The different stories being told has come out here with the shape shifting. This is a constant change of things. And I do feel that the grandmother goes from one extreme to the other a lot. And with that being said, I want to explain that where she's angry as hell and wants Leilani just gone. And if you did this, you're going to pay the price, to also, that's my daughter and I got to protect her. So she's really going from side to side a lot. And I do feel there's quite a few people in that house right now that are doing the same thing. But they have this image that they want to project. And I think that's one of the reasons maybe why they have stayed close knit at this point, because that's not how they always are. They're projecting something that isn't true. It's like a facade that they're putting up right now to show loyalty and support. And I think that's going to come to a crashing halt. Because somebody's going to sell something to the highest bidder here. They're just trying to protect themselves. They're trying to get as many people as they can on their side to believe their stories, but their stories keep changing. And I don't know if this could be also some kind of mental health illness that's bringing this on, with the constant change of thoughts and theories within one person's own head. But they have a personal agenda. So whatever that personal agenda is, it's to protect what's theirs. And I think they're more concerned over material things than they are over human. So when push comes to shove, I think somebody's going to be protecting their assets rather than their connections, if you know what I mean. That says a lot there. Somebody's doing a lot of flip-flopping and blame shifting and all kinds of things. This one's blaming that one's blaming this one. The outsiders are blaming both of them. There's a lot of shifting going on there. And as the story changes, and maybe, we've heard several different stories now. We've heard that they think Leilani threw him in a dumpster. They think that he drowned in the bathtub. They think another theory was the biological father came and took him. There's been just so many stories that have been put out there, and that's the shape shifting. Okay, so it's like, oh my God, they don't believe that. What are we going to say next? Like, okay, well, this is what I remember. And if Leilani was really high on drugs, she may not remember what she did. Doesn't mean that she didn't do it. But I think that there's a lot more there that we don't know yet. Like I said, there are some things there that I do know, but I can't share that right now. I'm not one to involve myself and put out things regarding the investigation that should not be put out yet. They're being kept secret for a reason. Okay, so I'm going to ask now, maybe get some answers to who actually did this, why they did it, what was going on around the time when Quinton got gone. What happened around that time? I don't think it happened. Okay, I'm just going to say this. Please don't question me on it because I can't answer it. I don't think it happened between 6 and 9. We're going to leave that there. So let's see if we can get maybe who was involved. The Queen. The Avenger. And why maybe? Judge. I've got a male and a female, and they're both going to be judged. So I do feel like we got the judge here. I do feel like they're both going to be held accountable. I have a Queen and an Avenger. Okay. Here's the Queen turning her head. And we got the Avenger. I'm going to help you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make things right. I'm going to do what we need to do. The Avenger is somebody who resorts to violence in the name of a cause. See that? Resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So I do believe that they feel that there was something going on there. This could be due to the eviction, having to pay child support and all this. I think that there could be a lot of fighting going on between this Queen and the Avenger. If you're not going to do nothing about it, I'm going to make it right. Something has to happen here. They're going to take all our income. We can't survive. Now we're getting thrown out. Becomes arrogant, the Queen. Becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Okay? So I do feel that this could even be the grandmother. But I feel it's both of them. I feel like both the grandmother in her relationships and Leilani in her relationships need to be in control. It's their way or the highway. And when that's challenged, the anger and hostility and violence comes out. They're very controlling and demanding. So I do feel I asked about what this is about. Why did this happen? Who was involved? I do think that the male and female are both involved. I think that this is a series of tragic events that have led up to this. I feel that with what has come out, that somebody resorted to violence, the getting rid of Quinton to help solve another problem, or the problem that was there that these two were maybe fighting over, caused this to happen because of the child support and then being evicted, right? I think that, and I don't think that that was just that. I don't think it was just because of that. I feel that there is other underlying things that were going on between Leilani and maybe even Danny, where this was a toxic relationship. It's like it was my way or the highway, and he's going, look it, like I've put in my share and I'm not doing this. I'll pay for my own child. I'm not paying for the other one. I think there was a lot of fighting going on between them. And I think that this relationship was toxic. Then put in, they're getting evicted. They were taken to court. They have to pay child support now. If he's with her, that's going to come out of their money. Both were listed. The incomes were listed for both of them. Ironically, exactly the same amount. I think it's $1,257 a month each. I did hear that they worked at the same place, so maybe they did have the same pay. But I do feel that there was a lot of fighting going on there because of this. And the eviction and child support thing, I think, was just the icing on top of the cake. There was a lot of toxicity in this relationship to begin with. And I think that's what finally sent them over the edge. Okay. A lot of fighting going on there. And this is even before this happened with Quinton. So the judge card comes in. I feel that I asked about why this happened. Somebody was very judgmental over somebody else. If this would have came out when I asked about and we will be asking that. I wish this would have came out down the line a bit, but it's coming out here to tell me that somebody was judging somebody else harshly. There was an imbalance in the relationship. I've already said that. There was a lot of toxicity here, misusing funds, illegal worries, criminal shit going on here. And instead of constructive criticism from maybe the other adults in the house as to what these two should be doing, it was just constant destructive criticism, which just added fuel to the fire. That's why I think that's why this happened with Quinton. And I feel here that she was very arrogant against Quinton. So I don't know, when you have a favorite child, I don't feel like Quinton was her favorite at all. I feel like there was some arrogance there, something she's seen in Quinton that sparked or triggered her. But I do feel that there wasn't a bond like there should have been with Quinton. That's why he was the one. And he required more care than the older one. So he was blamed for a lot of things too. So, and I'm not saying like if a glass got broken, he was blamed. I'm talking about the emotional side. So everything wrong in her life, I think she took out on Quinton. It was Quinton's fault. If Quinton wasn't there, that wouldn't be happening. If Quinton wasn't here, we wouldn't have this problem. If Quinton wasn't here, we wouldn't. Everything was blamed on Quinton. There was a lot of imbalance there. And I feel like the Avenger had finally said, like, enough is enough. It wanted to bring things back into balance. But he felt very self-righteous. Like, he felt that he was better than everybody there. Like, a really cocky attitude, this guy. And that's why I'm saying I think that's Danny, because that's what I got as soon as I seen the card, that was him. And I feel the Queen is representative of both Leilani and her grandmother and the grandmother. My way or the highway. Very controlling and demanding in everyday life. So that causes a lot of problems. I don't know how many people were living in this house, but when you got a lot of people with that same mentality and the same thought process, something's got to give somewhere. And it was taken out on this little boy. Okay, so I'm going to ask now regarding law enforcement. Have they found anything? What do they know? Is there going to be charges? Is Quinton going to be found? Anything regarding the search for him? What's going on? Don Juan. Ooh. Lover. Ooh. Bully. Wow. Okay, so the lovers, I asked, tell us what they know. Tell us what law enforcement knows. What have they found? And this is what I've got. Remember when I said here with the Avenger, I feel like he thought that he was better than everybody there. He was on a different caliber, stuff like that. You guys are all crazy. Like, I'm the only good one here type attitude. Look at what comes out. Don Juan. He had some kind of power over Leilani. The romantic attraction that he had to Leilani, he had his own agenda for that. So I feel like he was also messing around on her. Like, she wasn't the only one in his life. I feel like he was messing around with somebody else too. And law enforcement may have found that out. But I feel here that instead of being positive in situations, he was all about himself, what he was going to get out of this, what he was going to lose, what he had to gain, stuff like that. And then I feel like when this happened, his looks and his charm and this and that didn't work to get what he wanted. We're going to leave that there. The lovers. This talks about obsessions and obsessive passion that harms others, and self-destructive devotion. So it's almost, I'll do anything for you. I'll do anything for you. Okay, what do I got to do to make you happy? Remember I said how that between Danny and Leilani, how that was a toxic relationship? There was one here that was willing to do anything. I will do anything for you. That's where the self-destructive devotion comes in, because he's willing to do anything. One of them is willing to do anything, as even if it hurts others, because they were obsessed with someone or something. But somebody turned one of them away. Like, your charm ain't going to work this time. Your looks aren't going to work this time. I got to do what I got to do. I don't care who it hurts, harms. And I don't care if it even comes back on me. That's a self-destructive behavior too. Just they got their sights set on doing what they want to do, and they're going to do it. We've also got the bully. Okay, we got the bully. Conceals deep fears behind verbal and physical abuse. Remember I told you at the beginning, you see this? Conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Remember when I said right at the very beginning, there is a long history of abuse in this family, physical, emotional, even sexual. There's something going on here too. I think that they abused Quinton to the point that they had no choice but to get rid of him. If I remember correctly, we're going to see what comes out in the bumper deck. If I remember correctly, I got the strangled. Did they do something to him covering his mouth? The strangled could be either choked. It could be, it's a loss of breath. Somebody taking away your ability to breathe. That could be dunking his head in the bathtub, holding his head underwater. That could be covering his nose and mouth so he can't breathe. That could be choking. Could be several different things. I feel that this was to hide the abuse that they did to him. I think that something popped off that night. Maybe he wouldn't stop crying. Maybe he wouldn't go to sleep. Something popped off where they lost their shit. The disposing of him was to cover, they probably, I don't even want to. I believe by what was just shown to me here, I'm willing to do anything, even if it harms others, to get what I want. Your sex and your looks and all this other stuff isn't changing my mind this time. I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm hurt. I think there was some cheating going on between the two of them. I think everything came to a head. I think maybe little Quinton was woken up by the arguing, the fighting, whatever happened. I think he was woken up and he wouldn't go back to sleep. And I think that angered them more. That's why he was they could have been smacking him or hitting him to get him to shut up. I'm getting this feeling, you guys. It's like being thrown at me, like the anger. Shut up. And I think they abused him, and then they had to get rid of him to cover it. This is concealing verbal and physical abuse. They had to. They would have been going to jail. I think they both know exactly what happened. I believe something popped off that night, and we'll see when this all comes. When this all comes out, I feel something popped off between the two of them that night. And I can see them fighting and arguing, not over just the eviction and having to pay child support, over cheating, over this, over that, over taking stuff from each other, from, oh my God, complete chaos. They argued over so many different things that night. And I think the arguing woke him up and they couldn't get him back to sleep. And I think that there was some abuse that was happening to shut him up. This was no accident. And I think they had to do what they did to conceal the abuse. If the abuse that was happening to this little boy didn't put him, I don't want to say the word because I don't want to get demonetized, but you know what I mean. They probably had to unlive him because of the severe trauma that was done to his body. From probably hitting him, choking him, strangling him, covering his mouth so he couldn't breathe, maybe trying to drown him, holding his head under the water and letting him up, like, shut up. I'm sorry, you guys, but that's what I am seeing. Let's see what we get from the bumper deck. See that? Fight. One hell of a fight happened. Stranger. You're going to blame it on a stranger. Or this is a fight over a stranger. See that just fly out? Somebody was tired, wanted to just shut the hell up. I want to go to sleep. Yeah, there was a fight about a stranger. So I think this is the infidelity. Somebody was just tired of it all. This could also mean tired of all this fighting. Tired of just wanting to go to sleep, put an end to it all. I don't know. Let's see what else comes out. See, there we go again. Strangled. Strangled. That's too many. Too many. 1 and 2, please. See this? Somebody had a vendetta. That goes back to this fight. Somebody was tired tired of the fighting all the time, tired of fighting over maybe this could be whoever one of them was messing around with. Like, what are you doing with that person? We don't know that person. Who is that person? That's what I believe this is saying to me. There was a fight regarding somebody, like, why would you, who is that? Somebody growing tired of it. Strangled, and a vendetta. I think it was to punish the other, or to punish somebody. There was a vendetta. Could that be because of what? Now they got I think by this time they had the baby girl, right? And now we're getting thrown out and we have to pay child support. Is this to punish somebody else? A friend. Best friends. So vendetta against a friend. Did he classify the grandmother as a friend? Or did this friend give them the idea? I don't know, but there's a best friend. See this? Look at all the different balloons up there. There's 5. So there's somebody in a position that overpowered, and I'm getting a field. See, and I've got before that he was just tossed. So was he just tossed somewhere? This one flipped over, mountain hills. I'm getting like the field area, but I'm also getting mountains. Mountains. This could be the mountains of garbage they're going through. But I do feel they've got to check. I've been getting an area. I'm sorry, you guys, for the cough. I've been getting an area not far from their home where I believe should be searched. And it is like an open area. There's a bridge. There's water close by. Hang on just a second, please. I'm sorry, you guys. I got the choking. There's a bridge. There's a field. There's water close by. There's train tracks close by. That's all I'm going to say. I'm feeling that area needs to be searched. The mountains and hills, because it does go down, so that could be classified as a mountain or a hill. I'll take 1 or 2 more, please. Any information you can give regarding missing Quinton Simon. There we go. So we got from a distance and water. In water. So there's something in water too. Did they drown him in the water? I feel from up there he was beaten to death. And then beaten, and then they could have drowned him in that bathtub to finish him off, because they couldn't let anybody see him with the marks and bruisings that would have been on him from them trying to shut him up. So they could have drowned him in the water, held him in the pool, held him in the bathtub. Don't forget, some of these things that have come out, oh, he fell in the pool outside, he was drowned in the bathtub. Every little story that comes out, I'm not saying they're all true, but there's a bit of truth in each and every one. Okay? Somebody came back here from a distance. But yeah, so they could have beaten him and then to finish him off, drowned him. And then disposed of him. So They wouldn't be caught. Like, you seen that house, you guys. There's no way that somebody could have just walked into that house and taken that baby. There's no way. Lord, fast money. Did somebody pay somebody to shut their mouth? Because fast money come in. Was somebody lured into doing this for fast money? To save money. Something about money involved. Oh, there we go. Look at money. Yeah, this could very well be over. Look at, we got to get out. We've got no money to do it because now we got to pay child support. We're getting kicked out. I'm going to tell you right now that there was a lot of fighting over this money. This could also be saying that you need to get away. So his best friend could have told him to hijack it out of there. But this tells a lot. And I do feel that there's other places that they need to look for this baby. I do not feel he's going to be found in the landfill. That's just my opinion. From what I've been getting on my daily polls and the reads that I've got, I do not feel that he's going to be found in that landfill. I don't think so. They have also said that it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. I don't think he's going to be found there. I don't. And I think that the family is banking on that. Let's just pull one or two of these to see. What Danny? I want to know what Danny. We've asked about Leilani and her mom and the family there. Let's ask about Danny right now. What is Danny thinking right now? Or what is his thoughts on this whole thing? Let's get that. What is his thoughts on the whole thing from beginning when the fighting and everything was going on to all of this to leading up to Quinton going missing and now? Tell us what he thinks. How he feels. What's going on in his mind right now, please. That's way too many. Like, that's about 15 cards, you guys. That's way too many. Can you tell me what's going on in his mind, please? One or two cards would be great. That one wants to come out. Let's see what it is. Not today. Avoiding conversations, boundaries, angry. I don't want to deal with you. Like, forget it. Stop calling me. I don't want to hear from you. I'm not having a conversation with you. I think he's cut off all communication, wants nothing to do with this anymore. He's trying to distance himself as fast and as far as he can. This one wants to, okay, there's two here. Let's take them. Let's take the first one. See that? The sword in the rose. He's protecting himself against her right now. And I feel like he's going to put all the blame on her. The boat. The boat. The boat. Moving on, closing issues, moving on, sailing away from the situation, not taking any calls, conversations. He doesn't want to talk to them. He wants nothing more to do with them. He's trying to distance himself the best that he can. And I think that he's doing that to protect himself because I think that he's going to be implicated in this also. And he's going to try and put the blame all on her. So that's what we got for our read, my dears. I hope that this brings out a little bit more information here, and gives us a little bit more insight. This is in my opinion only. So by what I'm seeing from the cards, I'm not saying that this is fact or factual. I'm saying this is what my cards are telling me. So with that being said, if you do like this video, please hit that super thanks right down here. It's a heart and it has a thanks in there. Please help support the channel so I can continue to bring these reads. Any little bit helps. So thank you for that. And if you have liked this video, please hit that like button. That is free. Please share this out where you can. And please keep little Quinton in your prayers. Until next time, please take care of yourself. Please stay safe. Bye-bye for now.